Hey guys, and welcome back to our YouTube channel. I'm Jord.
I'm Jess.
And today we're really excited. Today you guys have been sending us in questions all week via YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and asking us questions. And today we're going to get those questions answered for you guys.
So first of all, thank you to everybody who has been sending in questions. We're very grateful for all of them, and today we're going to get them answered for you as best as possible. So we'll start off with Jordan first. He's going to answer some of your questions today.
Right guys, we're going to start reeling off the questions now. Just before we get started, if you do feel like we're not going into the questions in enough detail, or you still don't understand any questions in particular, just let us know. Get in touch with us on one of the social platforms, and we'll go through it with you more detailed on a one-to-one. Okay guys, question number 1. How can I get into property? Now obviously we're going to start with this question because it's right at the beginning of the journey, and it is obviously a massive question. You know, I asked the same question myself, and so there's probably a lot of people that start with no experience and want to get into something. So how can I get into property? Well, I would say straight up, first of all, you need to make a decision, okay? You need to make a decision. Do I want to get into property, and why? What do I want out of my life? What do I want out of property? You know, basically evaluate your life right now, where you're at. Are you happy? Are you not happy? And where do you want to go? Because property can do a lot of things for you. It can free up time, free you from your job, provide you with an income, allow you more time with your family, all these great things. So you need to look at where you are right now, where you want to go, and why you want to do it. Once you make that decision, stick with it. There's going to be a lot of people around you that may not understand the decision and may tell you can't do it. You need to distance yourself from those people, and then find people that are doing it, that have done it, hang around with them people, learn from them people, and you will very quickly find yourself on a journey to being in property. Now quickly, I'm going to tell you, it doesn't matter if you have money or no money. There's plenty of courses, books, things you can educate yourself, materials you can educate yourself with out there. You just need to get started, find some sources, some materials. There's many strategies. I won't go into all the strategies because there's so many strategies that allow you to get started with very little money. Just to highlight some ways you can actually get into property, there's deal packaging, which is probably most people's number one because it really doesn't require much money at all. You're basically, obviously you need the education first, you learn how to find a great deal, and then you find an investor, and all you do is connect the investor with the deal, and as a middleman you take a fee for that, so you don't have to buy a property, nothing like that. So that's probably number one, easiest way to get involved. Also, what we're doing, our main focus is rent to rent. We started with no money. You know, we raise money off investors. We're great at finding deals, and you know, we work with a lot of people that help us out on our journey as well. So yeah, you guys just need to get into some materials, and you'll be great. Question number 2. Are you a registered limited company? Yes, of course we are. Our company is called Property Purchasing Enterprise, and for rent to rent especially, you need to be a limited company because if you don't do a limited company, rent to rent essentially is subletting. So you're renting a property from a landlord, and then you're renting out the rooms individually to your own tenant base. If you've done that without a company, without a management agreement, without being a management company, it would just be subletting, which is illegal. So of course you need a limited company. When buying properties, having a limited company is beneficial in saving tax and areas. Obviously you need to speak to a financial advisor on that topic, but a limited company is the way to go.
Hi, so question number 3 is, what do you say to estate agents? So in all, when we call estate agents, we call them for rent to rent. So this question is going to be based around what we say to them for rent to rents. So we usually give them a call, say where we're calling from, what we're looking for, why we're calling, and if we can book a viewing. Some estate agents are happy with it. Some estate agents do kick back and don't want to talk to you at all. But I won't go into it in too much detail as it is quite lengthy. So if you are very interested in thinking what to say to estate agents, I don't know what to say, I need some help, give me a message or Jordan a message, and we'll email you over the script that we used to use for estate agents when pitching for rent to rent. Okay, so question number 4 is key points in a rent to rent letter. So I personally wrote mine and Jordan's rent to rent letter out. I think it took me about like 15 minutes, but it has proven to be a very beneficial letter as we have got a lot of callbacks from it. I would say the main structure of the letter is to introduce yourself as a company and then move on to the benefits of what you can offer the landlord. Make sure you list everything so they get a real picture of what they're going to get from your service. And I would also end it quite formally. I also add a picture of myself at the bottom, so when the landlords do call me up, they can put my face to my voice, which is quite nice, I find, personally anyway. So the aim basically of the letter is to get the landlord to give you a call. You would then get a viewing with the landlord. They're going to ask you 101 questions, but go into more detail. But make sure if you are sending out letters and going to meet landlords that you have done your research, because be prepared to be asked anything, and just so you know the answer.
Okay, next question. So we've been asked, how can you check if your area or if an area isn't saturated? So personally, I don't think this is much of I don't really think it's too much of an issue. If you do your market research and know how to find your gold mine areas, you'll know and figure out where the demand is and where the demand isn't. So obviously you want to operate only in areas where there is massive demand, so you're going to get the rooms rented. Now, even if there's a lot of people working around you in the area, there's other HMOs, there will be, there's still demand, so your room should still let. The only thing, obviously some areas are Article 4, so it would probably be easier, I would say, to target houses that already have a license. So maybe by contacting the council for their HMO register and sending them sending them landlords letters. That's probably the easiest way to do it in Article 4 areas. I'll give you a couple of little tips what we do. Obviously you want to stand out from the crowd and try and be the best, so that just means simply do your rooms to a higher standard, try and make them look really nice and appealing. As well as that, maybe drop deposits, make them low deposit or maybe even no deposit. That's totally up to you. Obviously it's just a lower barrier to entry, so people can view your ads and get themselves on the viewing, and they don't have to fork out too much to get themselves started. Question number 6, how do you find deals? So we find deals both through landlords directly and through estate agents. Now, no matter if you're buying, sourcing, rent to rent, whatever, you either find deals direct to vendor, direct to landlord, or through estate agents. Now, obviously, most of the market in the UK, most of the deals are with the estate agents, because obviously when you want to sell a house, when you want to rent a house, most people's general knowledge, whether you know about property or not, is to go to an agent and put it on the market with them. So that's obviously always number one where most of the properties are. But the better deals do generally tend to come from direct to landlord, direct to vendor. They're usually cheaper. You don't have to pay sort of agent fees and stuff like that. We manage to negotiate 0 deposits in our rent-to-rent deals, and we go direct to landlord as well, so we virtually get the properties for nothing. So like we've already mentioned, going directly to a landlord or the vendor, you can use letters, you can use leaflets. What else can you use? Adverts on Facebook and other online platforms, that sort of thing will target people directly. Estate agents, call them up or go and visit personally, see what deals they have, build a bit of relationship, bit of rapport, let them know what you're about, what you do, and obviously once you do some deals with them agents and build some rapport with them, they then become very beneficial because they know what you're about, that you're very serious, and they'll send you deals quite regularly because obviously they want to get their properties let and sold as well. Okay, so question number 7 was, what's your biggest mistake / learnings in your property journey so far? So what would our biggest mistake be? I'd probably say our biggest mistake
at the start.
At the start of our journey, I'd say it's just so important to really drill the numbers and the figures on your property deals. Make sure you're getting them right. Make sure you know how to do your figures and you work in the deal properly. Don't try and make the deal work. Don't try and change the numbers so they work. If it works, it works. If figures stack, they stack. If they don't, they don't. I mean,
don't get emotionally attached.
Do not get emotionally
attached
attached
if they don't work, which I did before.
Yeah, at the start we did have some offers accepted on properties at the start of our journey, and thankfully for whatever reason we didn't go through with it in the end anyway, but if we did now, there would be very low profiting and not very good in our portfolio, so we're glad that didn't happen. So yeah, I would say that's key mistakes. Learnings,
just keep going and you'll learn. Every time you get to a new step, you'll keep learning. So for me and Jordan, it was first of all how to speak to agents, learning how to do that, and then once the offer's accepted, it's learning what to do after that. So you're always learning. We're still learning now.
Most definitely. And I would definitely say that you just need to keep smashing out viewings so regularly, every day, or multiple times a week, just as much as you can around your job. Get as many viewings in as possible, because you will do viewings, you will get excited, think that this one's going to be the one, and then it might not happen, and you have to keep going to the next one. You have to do so many viewings. We had to do so many viewings before we ever got our first deal accepted. So just keep on viewing properties, and it will come.
Okay, so question number 8 is, what is your biggest highlight? So do you agree with me saying it's our first deal?
Yeah, it's got to be, really, hasn't it? I mean, what's your biggest highlight? I would say getting the first deal accepted has to be the biggest highlight, because get the first deal accepted, we obviously get really excited. It just so happened to be with a landlord that has many properties in Coventry, so it's a great person to know and to maybe make further deals with in the future. But as well as that, just getting the first deal accepted.
Even working on the deal, like inside the house as well, was really...
yeah, just the whole process, really, getting the deal accepted, and from getting the deal accepted to renovation and having it fully let, sort of the whole thing done within 3 to 4 weeks, probably.
It all happened really quickly, didn't it? I
remember. But although it's still, right now, it doesn't feel like a highlight, because it's like you get your first deal and you think this is going to be it. You're going to be so happy. But straight away it's just right back to work. What have we got to do now? How are we going to get it let? What we've got to do? Blah blah blah. And then that one's done. Okay, next one. The next one's already been accepted, so you need to get that one, and then you need to get a tenanted. And you just carry on, and then you don't really look back and reflect, and not yet. Anyway, so you'll understand when you get there, or if you're already there, you'll understand that you think it's going to be really exciting, but you're just still working so hard and focus on what's in front of you that you're not really getting a chance to look back just yet. So yeah, but I would definitely say that's the biggest highlight so far, of course.
Question number 9 is, what's the best sourcing strategy for HMOs? So the top one, everyone would probably agree, is spare room. So we get all of our leads mostly for our properties from spare room. We also use spare room to write out to people and reach out to them, offering what we have if they're looking in the area and if it's within their price budget. We found that a lot of people do get back and want to book viewings, so that's very helpful and a good way to use spare room as well. The second one would be Facebook Marketplace. The only thing I would say about Facebook Marketplace is all of the leads are not as great as spare room. Some leads on there do think that the rooms you're putting up, it's for a whole house. So what I tend to do is when they do message, I ask them a few questions first, just to narrow it down and see if it's the room they're looking for, how long they're looking to stay, and if it's just themselves that they're coming to, who's going to stay in the room. So we're also going to be looking at doing Facebook ads on Facebook soon to advertise our rooms and let them out. So we're going to be starting that shortly, and we'll let you know how we get on with advertising on Facebook. So question number 10 is, how long does it take to fill a house? So there is no correct or wrong time of how long it takes to fill a house. It will fill when it's ready to fill. But that's why it's so important to do your market research, check the demand in the area, check spare room before you go and get a property in the area. So looking at how many people are looking in the area, how many rooms are wanted, and then how many rooms are available kind of ratio. Just doing your market research is very important, because if you do get a rent-to-rent in a not very good area and it's very quiet, then it's going to take a long time to more than likely rent the house out. If you get it in near the city centre, we've got one near the city centre, it took us less than a month for it to be fully let. That was a 4-bed HMO. So it all depends on the area. I mean, a month near the city centre, you can look at it as a quite long process or a fast process. But for us, it was quite fast. We got a tenant in, but it works out like one every week. So that was pretty quick for us. So yeah, just do your research.
Next question, what do you do if you don't fill a house? Now, this never happened to us, thankfully, so I can't answer from experience. Obviously, Jess has just told you sort of optimum times, good times around 3 weeks to get a house rented. It depends how long it's been with the house not fully let. Well, obviously, if time's getting on, it's been past a month, maybe it's been 2 months, and you still haven't got your property fully let, you may need to look at the prices or the standard of the room. Maybe the standard needs to come up, or the price needs to come down a bit. We don't really like to take our prices down too much. Maybe start off by taking the deposit down or something like that. Try and make it lower barrier to entry, like I said before. But you've just got to keep going. Make sure you're reaching out to people as well as them finding you. Reach out to people that are looking for rooms. And yeah, just keep going. I mean, obviously, this is what's vital to do your research and make sure that the area has got demand before you invest in the property. So of course, I think one thing I don't think we've mentioned is before we get our deals, we usually do put up test adverts on spare rooms. So just put up an advert as if you did have the room already, and see how it gets on, the response rates you're getting, and the amount of people who want to view. So yeah. Okay guys, so that's pretty much all the questions answered. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned from it and you can actually move forward from it now. Of course, if you need any more information, any more details, just hit us up on our social medias. We're going to put them down below. Just drop some comments below. Tell us how you thought the video was, and yeah, hit us up.
Like, share and subscribe our videos as well. And Jordan's got a little tip for everyone this Christmas as well.
Yeah, don't be like most of the society. Don't slow down for Christmas. We're going to plough through, power on. All the deals are going to be there with less people looking for them. So make sure you're working hard through your Christmas and festive season.
Thank you. See you next week.